There you go. I'm your host, Doc Bob Lee, and you're watching Open It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is an engineer for the U.S. Air Force. He's retired now. He's going to be talking about every day being Saturday. He joins us from Dayton, Ohio, to speak about fatherhood and finances with the release of his two books, with A Father's Love and Financial Freedom. Doing nothing is an option. So please welcome to the show the doctor. Doctor's in the house, Dr. Edmund H. Moore. Doc, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Bob.
So how does it feel to be retired?
Oh, I've been retired for 10 days. It feels great.
10 days and counting. I have some friends that retired and they said, hey, Bob, every day is Saturday.
I wouldn't say every day is Saturday, but my friends on the golf course always said that they wish they had retired sooner.
Well, you can show them the way, that's for sure. Listen, talk about some of the things that you've been doing. I know you've been doing a lot in the community while you've been working. Now, before you get into the community thing, you retired from the Air Force?
Yes, retired from the Air Force after over 32 years.
Yeah.
I was a materials science and manufacturing engineer and worked in the area of turbine engines.
Turbine engines. Now, of course, you were building engines for jets and tanks and things of that nature?
Turbines are in jets, they're in tanks, they're in Navy ships, and commercially they are used in the energy field.
Yeah. Any secrets you can tell us? No, don't tell us. But tell us about all the wonderful things that, well, first of all, thank you for your service, but also you work in our community. You do a great service to our community through church and through different CBOs, community-based organizations. Tell us about that.
Oh, my home church is in Dayton, Ohio, west side of town, funk capital of the world. And that's the Mega Baptist Church, where I served as a trustee in the past and a school teacher. I'm also a co-chair of an organization, nonprofit called Parity Inc. And used to be called Parity 2000. And our goals was to seek social economic equality in the African American community. And that didn't happen by 2000, so we changed the name to Parity Inc. But we're still fulfilling that same goal.
Yeah, and now you have more time to spend with these organizations or golf.
Definitely.
You can better your golf game.
It's improving.
So you sat back, you kicked off your shoes and relaxed your feet, and you said, you know what? I need to write a letter. And that letter turned into a book. Explain what happened.
The book, 50, With a Father's Love, 52 Weekly Letters to My Daughters, that book was written about the 2017 time frame, but was based off of letters from 2014, 2015. I wrote a letter to my daughters in the midst of a divorce each week for 52 weeks, and I published it into that book just for them. And people heard about it at church and other places, and they said, you got to make that available to the general public. So I edited and made it into a book that was made available to the general public. And what was interesting, I thought it would be more for the teenage young ladies, was their mothers, their fathers, and everyone to love that book.
Yeah. Of course, everybody was probably having a rough time going through the divorce. How did your daughters take it?
My daughter's one daughter, she wanted me to write more letters. Another one was she was not as transparent about what she thought about the letters at the time.
Yeah. But now they love them. They have something they can cherish forever.
Right. Yeah.
Something they can show their grandchildren or your grandchildren, their children. Yeah.
And remember, I wrote that I published a book just for them. So that book on the bookshelf is not for sale.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's a special edition.
Right.
Yeah. And then you went on to write another book. Tell us about that book. Financial Freedom, Doing Nothing is an Option.
Yeah, it's the second book I was writing with my best man, the late Richard Lapierre Sr. And he died in the early stages of writing the book,
Mhm.
and after about 6 months, friends and family said you got to finish the book. So I finished. So I did finish the book, Financial Freedom: Doing Nothing is an Option. And I will say that doing nothing is an option is a tagline to get one's attention, because if you do nothing, you will not attain financial freedom.
Yeah. There's some quotes out there that make reference to that. Sit back and do nothing, nothing will happen.
Correct. And that is the natural thing that most of us do in life, is we just don't do anything to move forward. A lot of
Yeah.
us.
And I always say something toward the end of the show. Whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. So say you can and you will.
Mhm.
You can. I can. I can.
Right.
So in that second book, we're talking about financial literacy. Talk about how that book came about.
The book came about. We were talking about how we could write a book together, what we were writing on, and that financial freedom was the topic. He was an educator, um, and we wanted to put together something that was simple, that was easy to understand, that anyone could grasp. And so, although the book is short, it's straightforward, and anyone who reads it should. If you have a sixth grade education, you should be able to read and understand it.
And what will people learn? What will they take away from that book?
First thing they'll take away from it, they'll have a definition of what financial freedom is, and they will have a definition of what generational wealth is.
Yeah.
Um, because that's your goal. You can't seek a goal if you don't know what you're going after.
Yeah.
The next thing they will understand is that before you can go anywhere, you need to find out where you are. So, what debts do I have? What is my income? Uh, what is my net worth? Do I need to make additional income? Do I need to cut it cost? How do I get my financial house in order? The other thing you need to do is, once you do that, then you need to start putting in strategies in place, savings and investing, such that you can attain generational wealth. And that includes, you can buy property, that type of thing, so rental property and other means. And you also need to bring in some financial professionals in to help you out, because no one knows everything. And sometimes you need an accountability partner too to help you out as
Yeah.
well.
And be careful of who you get, because there are a lot of people out there that will just try to take your money. How do you go about choosing the right person? How do you know that person is the right one for you?
Well, the first thing is, you have to educate yourself about the basics of finance. Uh, you need to write out what your expenses are, what you need to survive off of, what you need in the future as far as uh, rainy day funds. And once you do that, then you can go out and seek financial professionals to help you.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any background, anyone can take advantage of you.
Yeah.
A
Yeah. I
lot
mean, you
that
hear
happens
so
to a
many.
lot of professional athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was going to refer to. Abdul Jabbar, his money went south somewhere. Well, I'm just saying south, but south is a good thing, depending on what you're talking about. But and then MC Hammer, Holyfield, a lot of those
Dennis
guys were
Rodman.
living while they were making all of that money. They were able to pay for all those things that they wanted. But then when the money stopped, you couldn't. You still had those huge expenses. Like Holyfield was paying $100,000 to cut his grass. I'm just saying grass, but to do the lawn and all that stuff.
One
He had
one
to
of my
file for
one of my
bankruptcy.
classmates, when I was getting my master's degree in management, she actually worked for MC Hammer, and she told me he was a
Yeah,
nice guy and how people took advantage of him.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bring him up. That's my cousin. He's a Burrell. But yeah, and a lot of people they get taken, and they just got to bump things down a little bit. What is the first step to building generational wealth?
Again, the first steps is, you cannot achieve generational wealth unless you have achieved financial freedom yourself. So, if you're still in debt and you're living paycheck to paycheck, uh, there's no generational wealth to pass on. So that's the first step.
Yeah.
Secure your own household and start building wealth, and then put the tools in place to guarantee that your wealth continues or it grows. So you need to do simple things like wills. I say that everyone, once a person reaches 18, they should do two things. You should register to vote, and you should write your first will.
Yeah.
Even though it could be a simple will, but that to get you into the practice. But then you need the powers of attorneys, the wills, the trust, and those type of things to secure your assets. For my daughter's education, I put in 529 plans. So
Yeah.
right now, that's what's funding education. I'm not worried about I need to go out and make additional money to fund my kids' education.
Yeah, that's what everybody else does. So when you get out of college, you won't be broke from borrowing so much money and having to pay back so much. All those
And it
things
avoids that as well.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want them racking in debt, having to pay back bills for college like a lot of people doing today.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and it happens, you know, but then you have to try to get rid of that debt so you can begin building generational wealth. What took place in your life that you thought that you had to write a book like this and straighten out your life so that you can encourage others to do the same?
One of the things I would say, one of the impetus for this was both of my parents died. And it took my brother probably a couple of years to find out what accounts they had and all this kind of thing. The will was straightforward, but it was all the different accounts that we didn't know about. Because
Yeah.
once your parents get dementia, that kind of thing, they can't tell you anything else. And they didn't tell you, you don't know.
Yeah.
I can my parents have been dead since I think about 2017, I think it was. And I just got an annuity from my dad in the with 2 months ago.
Yeah. Wow.
This came out of the blue. Didn't know
See?
about it.
Didn't know about it. Listen, you're a wealth of information too, and a lot of people need to read your books. They can get your books on Amazon. Is there a website they can go to get more information on what you're doing?
People can just Google EdmundHmore.com. That's EdmundHmoore.com. And that information should come up as far as where the books are available. It's on Amazon, Target, Barnes and Nobles, and other locations.
There you go. Hey, thank you for joining us, and you're welcome to come back.
I look forward to it. Thank you and have a blessed day.
All right, the doctor is in the house, Dr. Edmund H. Moore. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your service. All right, we'll take a break right here. I've got more open coming up next. So keep the shoes off, kick off the shoes, and relax your feet. We're in there. We're open.